Yeah, g'day friends. Just a quick educational clip. I posted something on my Facebook, or actually it was on a Facebook of, it could have been a Hedera Hashgraph page, I think. And I posted this video here by someone on YouTube here. Central banks will use HBAR. And it's about, of course, the CBDCs, the central bank digital currencies. And I got this message back here. I'm not sure if you can read it, but you could probably pause and read it if it focuses in there. But in a nutshell here, basically was a message from somebody who really didn't understand how central bank digital currencies will work. And somehow some people think that cryptocurrencies that work with CBDCs will be some kind of a stable coin, where it'll be one of the coins will equal, say, a central bank digital currency coin. It will equal $1, so forth. But it doesn't really work like that. So basically, the way people think like this is because of Bitcoin and the initial promise that Bitcoin had for the financial system, where it was touted as an alternative to the US dollar. Okay, alternative, I meant to write. Okay, but we can call it an alternation for now. I think I've just made a new word up there, but alternation of the US dollar. Okay, I'll have to look that up. Maybe it is a word. We'll see. But anyway, you get the message. People were touting Bitcoin as the alternative for the US dollar, and it was, the anarchistic thing to do, and it was, going to be a breakaway society where people just magically used, Bitcoin for transactions, and, don't worry about the tax man, and, don't worry about all the laws and things like that. It's kind of a pie in the sky imagination, really, to think that the government will not care if people are transacting in Bitcoin and other even more private coins, and thinking they can just do that and get away with things. There's a thing now called the anti-terrorism, anti-money laundering protocols. It's KYC. You might have come across that. Know your customer. Okay, and this is just regulation. Okay, it's financial regulation. It is what it is. Okay, I'm not saying it's good or bad. It has its place for people in the world who, just think they can, spend Bitcoin and not have to pay tax and all that type of thing. But regulations are coming in, and so the thinking that Bitcoin will be the alternative currency has kind of made people think that, this new world of cryptocurrencies is going to be where, you can just use a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin just to transfer funds from A to B. Okay, and that's going to be somehow, adopted rather than a US dollar, digital US dollar. Okay, so it's out of the digital US dollar and Bitcoin. Okay, which do you think is going to win? Okay, the reason the digital US dollar hasn't already come in prior to this date is because the technology has not really been available for the digital US dollar to take place, and it's very basic. But people are not really aware of it. The US dollar, okay, we'll call it the digital dollar, must be placed on a platform, a consensus algorithm, okay, to operate. Algorithm, that's the one. And in this case, I talk about Hashgraph because not only are they working with MTech and Microsoft on a platform for central bank digital currencies, they're working with the Federal Reserve. Okay, so this is why I talk about Hashgraph. There are a couple of other networks out there, but they don't have the properties of Hashgraph, Hedera Hashgraph. They don't have the finality of a transaction in 3 seconds. They don't have the transactions per second, which Hedera Hashgraph, they've had it up to 250,000 transactions per second, whereas something like Visa can max out at 50 or 55 or 60, somewhere around there, transactions per second. So no other consensus algorithms can do this. And I had also another argument today with a guy that's talking about other cryptos that can do lots of transactions. Not all transactions are the same. The particular transactions that happen with Hedera Hashgraph are asynchronous Byzantine fault tolerant. Okay, there's no other consensus algorithm that offers asynchronous Byzantine fault tolerance. And what that means is that the network will continue to operate even if there is a DDoS attack or a Sybil attack. Okay, so it means it's basically the most resilient technology you can have online for the purpose of transacting. And that's why I believe the US digital currency and other currencies around the world will place their digital dollar on the Hedera Hashgraph consensus algorithm. And we know that the Shinhan Bank in South Korea, the largest bank in South Korea, is working with Hedera Hashgraph. In fact, has bought into Hedera Hashgraph for the purpose of running its CBDC. We know that the Standard Bank in Africa, which is the largest bank in Africa, has bought into Hedera Hashgraph in order to work on CBDC. One of the largest banks in Japan, called Nomura, has bought into Hedera Hashgraph and is working on a CBDC. So it just seems like the writing's on the wall, for all these other, culty coins and tribalism in these other coins. They've got to really set their emotions aside and their actions aside, which was to get into these other cryptos. They've got to sort of set that aside, set their pride aside, and just look at the facts and look at the technology and realize that it's probably going to be Hedera Hashgraph that these banks all interoperate on, because they're basically going to be talking to each other and sending money to each other, and they just need a layer, an internet layer, to operate through that can handle all the transactions of all the banks in the world. And there may be a couple of other applications where maybe one or two of these other consensus algorithms may work on the periphery, but I believe the main network will be Hedera Hashgraph that they all use. And basically speaking, some people think, the H bar will equal $1, and it'll be some sort of a, stable coin, and where just if people want to send someone $1, they've got to send it, send a H bar in a sort of a package where it's you need one H bar to equal $1 in order for this thing to work. But it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. What happens is the Fed will have its own central bank digital currency. Call it the US dollar or the digital dollar, and that will be worth $1. Now, what will happen is for someone to send one of those $1 to somebody else, in another country, basically it will cost to do that 0.0001 of their digital dollars. It'll cost them to do that. To send one of their dollars, it'll cost them 1/10,000th of a dollar, or 1/100th of a cent, to send one of their digital dollars over to another location. Or they could wrap it up and send 10 digital dollars for the same price, or 100 digital dollars. The transaction will cost a very small amount, put it that way. So you don't need one H bar to equal $1, okay, you can see here with the cost of sending these digital dollars that will already exist on a separate permissioned ledger. This is the key. It's not going to be on the Hashgraph ledger, their digital currency. Their digital currency will sit on their ledger, the Fed ledger, let's say. Okay, and then when it wants to move funds from here to, say, another bank's ledger, call it the Shinhan ledger, when they want to move it, they need to use the Hashgraph algorithm. Okay, so it's only when the funds move out of their systems to other systems they're going to need Hedera Hashgraph, and it's going to cost them a fraction of a cent to do it. So that's what I just wanted to outline today. It's not one for one when they do these swaps and transfers. It's 0.0001 of a dollar to move the federal bank digital currency over to another federal bank digital currency, or even once people hold these digital dollars, if an individual moves a digital dollar to another individual, it'll cost a fraction of a cent, but he won't need to go through the banking system that exists today, where if it's overseas, he has to spend $30 to wire money internationally. He just spends a fraction of a cent, and that's how the transfers occur. And that's why these things are going to be happening, because it's economical. Okay, the old system's gone. They're going to, all the central banks are going to go on consensus algorithms to run, because at the end of the day, it's more economical. And the best algorithm that is out there is Hedera Hashgraph to handle all these transactions with ABFT, which means no money will go missing, no money will be put on hold. It'll be, when you hit that button in 3 seconds, your funds will be transferred into the account of your choice, absolutely guaranteed. Okay, and that's the the bottom line, and that's the case closed. Okay, no other platforms can do this. No other platforms can guarantee ABFT other than Hedera Hashgraph, and all the other things I've been talking about, the transactions per second, okay, the finality in 3 seconds, all these things. When you put it all together, you stack Hedera Hashgraph up to any other crypto or platform, it wins hands down. And the thing is too, it does this with the least amount of energy, with 0.0001 kilowatt hour per transaction. But anyway, just a quick one. Hopefully it makes sense. If there's any questions, you can leave them in the comments.